Hello, my name is Michael Suris from Dental Professional Labs in Maryville, Indiana. Thanks for joining us today for Sorona's webinar, Utilizing Multiple Scanned Catalogs with the Inlab 4.0 software. I would like to take a moment and thank Sorona for hosting these webinars. This webinar, along with the previous editions, can be found at www.inlab.com/events.html. Today, we're going to look at new ways to use the information provided to our labs from the doctors through study models, diagnostic wax-ups, tissue models, and preoperative impressions. First, let's take a look at what most of us have been working with in the past. In version 3.88, we were limited to 3 catalogs for our scans. They were preparation, buccal bite, and antagonist. With the arrival of version 4.0, even the names of our catalogs have changed. Since we now have the ability to work on the maxillary and mandibular dentition at the same time, we now are using the titles upper jaw, lower jaw, and buccal bite for our 3 main catalogs. In addition to these 3, we can now add and use an additional 6 catalogs. So let's start by doing a biogeneric copy for tooth number 9 and tooth number 10. First, we need to tell the system what we're doing and what teeth we're working on. So we'll select biogeneric copy, tooth number 9, and tooth number 10. If we look down the phase bar here, we notice we have a red line under select material. That indicates an issue that must be dealt with before we can move forward. So we'll click on select material, go to Sorona, and let's select Incorus TZI and press OK. Once we arrow forward, we arrive at our scan screen. As you can see at the bottom, we have lower jaw, upper jaw, and buccal, our 3 standard catalogs. In addition, we have biocopy upper. The system will default to biocopy upper. However, at this point, I've already scanned the images for biocopy and scanned the images for upper jaw in order to save time. Just so you know, when it defaults to biocopy upper, you're not required to scan those images first. You can do them in whatever order you like. There's no certain order or sequence that you're tied into with the system. Over on the right hand corner, we do have the Add Catalog button. If I click on that now, it shows me the 6 other catalogs that I can add, including BioReference lower, BioReference upper, Gingiva Mask lower and upper, and biocopy lower and upper. At this time, we don't need any more catalogs, so we'll close that and move on to the next step, which brings us to the Set Model Access screen. We're going to set our midline and then move the arch up to where it's sitting on the bite plane. Once I'm satisfied with this, I can press OK and then arrow forward to the next screen. So after we mark our margins and define the insertion axis, we're at the point where we can press or select the copy line. When we do this, we're presented with the biocopy model and a proposed line by the system. In general, these tend to need to be edited. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I like to take mine about 2/3 of the way down the length of the tooth, through the interproximals as much as I can, and down the lingual. Again, about 2/3 of the way. Select number 9, do the copy line, edit as necessary, so there's a little discrepancy here. I'll make sure I get around that. Otherwise the computer tends to duplicate that also. Complete my copy line. ahead and arrow forward. At this point, it likes us to check our parameters and then select Calculate Restoration, and it'll generate our proposal. Now once it generates our proposal, I can go ahead and to display objects. I'm going to shut off my minimal thickness just so we can look at it. And then I'm going to select Upper Biocopy. As you can see, it overlays the biocopy, and we can see how close our new restoration is to the old. We also have the ability to adjust the translucency of the model, the biocopy, and we can edit right through it. You can see this area here needs to be brought out some. And it's very easy to do with our design tools. But again, you're in complete control, and you can also make larger changes if you so desire. You can bring up the biocopy again. Notice I have a diastema here. Select anatomical shape and just kind of pull it over a little bit to complete my case. But again, you're in full control of your design, but it's nice to have the biocopy generate something close to work with. And that's how to do a biocopy. Okay, so the next thing I'd like to show you how to do is to create a soft tissue or a virtual gingival mask for your everyday cases that you're working on. So I went ahead and told the computer that we're doing a crown on number 8, biogeneric. Now I'm going to arrow forward to our scan screen. And of course, our scanner turns on, the INEOS Blue turns on. But I'm going to go over here to Add Catalog and select Gingiva Mask Upper. As you can see here, our model turns pink. So I'm going to take a few images here. And all I need is part of each adjacent tooth. I might tilt it to the lingual a little bit. See if I can capture some more. That should be pretty much what I need. I can get it, take my contacts a little bit better. Hopefully that'll help in the stitching process. Okay, so now I've taken my images for my gingiva mask. Now I'm going to go ahead, ditch my die, which I've already done, and do my scan for my working model. Get everything lined up. Activate the camera. Start scanning my images. Go back and get my contact areas better. Refocus a little. The mesial and the distal. I can see here where the computer has already stitched our soft tissue in. So just get a few more images so we can go forward. Fill in some of the missing data. Alright, so we'll go ahead. I've got my gingiva mask done. I've got my upper jaw done. Arrow forward. And that brings us to our set model axis screen. Go ahead and set our midline where we want it. Set the arch on the bite plane. Press OK. Arrow forward. Do our regular trim and marking of the margins. Try that again. Go ahead and draw my margins. Define the insertion axis. Arrow forward. Make sure our parameters are where we want them, and calculate the restoration. At this point, I can go ahead and do whatever editing I need to do. I'll rotate it a little bit. Do a little shaping. I'm not going to spend too much time on this today. That's a different webinar. So once I get my basic design where I need it, or my final, whichever I choose, so I'm going to go to Display Objects, select Upper Gingiva, and it applies our virtual soft tissue. So now I can go ahead and do my contours accordingly. Nice tool to use. Fill in the dreaded black triangles here. But again, with display objects, I can shut off my upper jaw, look through and confirm and see where my tissue is even pushing through, and adjust it back as necessary. And again, with the display objects, you have the ability to adjust the translucency or transparency of the models and the gingiva. Even the restoration can be changed just by sliding the cursor along whichever one you want to do. It's my trim model. And that's how you do a virtual soft tissue model. What I would like to do next is what I call a biocopy overlay. It's a way of making a matrix or a template. If the tooth is broken down or misaligned, you have a preoperative model, and it's not good enough to do a full biocopy or a reference. You can still use it to lay over the working model and help you with the alignment. So all I do here is select biogeneric individual and crown, arrow forward, and here I've already done my scans of the working model. So I'm going to select biocopy upper. I already added the catalog. Turn on my scanner, the Ineos blue. It's kind of hard to see here, but you can see number 8 is broken down quite a bit and chipped up. Definitely not what the patient wants. I'm going to scan it anyway. As I mentioned before, if you look down at the bottom here by biocopy upper and by the upper jaw, you can see these wheels spinning. That's the computer calculating how to stitch the images together. So now you can see where it is stitched the two together. I think I have enough images here to go ahead and arrow forward. Now, since I added that image, it just unstitched, so it's working to put them back together again. Hopefully I'll pick it up real quick here. Okay, so stitch it together. I can now arrow forward. Let it do its calculations and cleaning up. I can see even though I had some distortions in my scan or some ghost images there, some scattered material, the computer cleans them up quite nicely. Look how clean that model looks. So I've already done my draw margin and my trimming of the area. Define the insertion axis. That looks all set. So I'll arrow forward. And there's the proposal that it gave me. Now at this point, I can go to Display Objects, select Upper Biocopy, and see the alignment and some of the info that was available from the preoperative model. Here I could increase the transparency of my restoration and kind of see how they fit together. Now based on this, I can see the original crown was a bit longer. So I can increase the length. It's set out a bit more towards the facial. Had a different rotation to it. So here the biogenerics gave me a pretty good proposal. I can see areas that need to be changed and adjusted. I can spend some time here doing the editing of this restoration. But as you can see, it's a nice tool that they've given us to be able to lay over, do an overlay, kind of like a matrix, if you will, and be able to see what the patient had and what we're trying to achieve. A lot of flexibility built into the system with 4.0. Another subject I'd like to cover today is the usage of multiple catalogs in implants. I know it was covered previously in one of the webinars on 4.0 on the implants, and I know it was done on 3.8's webinar on implants, but I'm just going to go over a quick overview of the soft tissue for the implants, how to scan it in, and why we do it. So I'm going to define my restoration as a biogeneric individual multi-layer abutment on tooth number 8. The system is going to ask me what type of implant, and it's an FX 3.8. It's asked me to select the veneering material, what kind of crown I want to put on it. I'm going to tell it it's an Emax CAD, and select the framework for material, which we only have one available at this time in the Incor ZI Mezio. So we have all our information in. I'm going to arrow forward and turn on the INEOS Blue and prepare for the soft tissue scan. Now they recommend that you do the soft tissue scan first. Now you can see here it did not add a catalog for my soft tissue. So I'm going to go over here and select Gingiva Mask Upper and add it in. The reason they want us to do it first is because the soft tissue models that we create in the laboratory are most accurate prior to us pulling them off the model. Once we pull them off the model, they lose their accuracy. What I'm going to do is just take a few images of the soft tissue without any of the implant parts, the tie base, or the scan body in place. So that should be about all I need for the soft tissue for the implants. Now at this point, I would remove the soft tissue, the gingiva mask, and insert my tie base. The reason we use it, or kind of push for using the soft tissue, is that way we can remove it and we can put the implant or the tie base in place with the scan body, and we can visually check it and be 110% sure that that tie base is all the way down. Because as you know, and everybody that does implants knows, if it's not seated correctly, everything beyond that point is wrong. So nothing's going to fit right. So it's critical that we're able to see that that implant is down. Consequently, that's why we use the soft tissue model. Remove it so we can look and see. That's why we have another catalog. So I've removed my gingival mask and I've inserted the tie base with the scan body on it. We select the upper jaw catalog, get things in focus here. You may have noticed when I scan, especially on anteriors, I tend to go from cuspid to cuspid, canine to canine. The reason being is when I go to set my bite on the bite plane, it makes it much easier with more anteriors in place. You can see here that it has already put our soft tissue, our gingiva mask, in place. As you saw there, there was an image that could not be registered. More than likely, I exceeded the 15-degree rotation. We can go in 15-degree increments as we move. Beyond that, the system has trouble stitching it together. It'll reject it. And you'll have to go back and find a good point to start scanning again. Looks like I need a better shot of my mesial contact. There, it filled it in. So we're going to go ahead and arrow forward. Let the system do its magic, clean it up. Because I've got a really bad image there. I might have to go back and delete that one. It came out pretty clean. So again, we're going to rotate our model and set it in the axis. Set it along the midline here. Again, this is why I scan on anteriors from cuspid to cuspid. Makes it much easier to set it on this axis or on the bite plane, and that does affect the proposals that we get. So if you find that you're not getting decent proposals or they're kind of out of whack, take a little more time in setting it on the bite plane here. See if that helps what you're doing. So I think I got it set there. I press OK. Arrow forward. I'm going to trim my areas, being very careful not to go through the contacts. Click the scan head body, scan body head. And there's our gingival mask with the implant in place. You can see it gave us a proposal for the margin. Came out real nice. So that's how we do the gingival mask for the implant. I'm not going to go on beyond this. It's, again, it's a nice tool to have. Make this the actual soft tissue model when you do your implants, so that you can be totally sure that that the tie base is seated correctly. Again, if it's not down, everything's wrong. One thing that I did not really touch on today, mainly because it doesn't use additional catalogs, is biogeneric reference, which was formerly known as replication for the people out there that have been using the system for quite some time. It's a great tool to use. It doesn't use any additional catalogs, but it allows you to replicate or to copy another tooth in the arch. Just like in the picture that I'm showing you here, we, we did a biogeneric reference of number 8 copying number 9. So again, it was called replication, and a biogeneric copy was formerly known as correlation because it would correlate the two models together. So they've added the biogeneric factor into both of them. Areas that can't be copied or don't come out right, biogenerics helps to correct those things. Also, if the space for number 8 on this one was larger or smaller than that for number 9, the biogenerics would help to correct that and space it out correctly. So another great tool in your arsenal that you can use. So that about completes this segment of the webinar, the presentation part. At this point, I'd like to open it up for questions. If anybody on the forum would like to present some questions, I know some people have already been typing them in. See if we can find something here. Here we go. Does it matter which order I scan the images into the catalog? Can I do the working model first and then the biocopy? Really, the system does not care which order they're scanned. Um, when I do them, I do the biocopy and the working model first. It usually defaults to the biocopy, but I'll do those two first. And then I'll do my opposing and my bite, simply because while I'm scanning in the opposing model and the buccal bite, the computer's working on correlating the models together, stitching them and getting them in the right place. So it's kind of an efficiency thing with me, that I just like to get it all done as quickly as possible and let the computer do its thing in the background if it can. Oh, here's a popular question. When am I going to get my software? Well, the first question I need to ask on that one then is, have you registered? If not, you need to go to Sirona's website and register so you can get the 4.0 software. Contact your territory manager, ask them what you need to do to get on the list and make sure that you're in line to get yours. The software is here, it's in the States, it is being shipped. The people at Sirona are working very hard to get it out to everybody. It's quite a monumental task to get it done. but they are working on it. So please be patient. It is worth the wait. Let me see here. What if I scan the images into the wrong catalog? Do I have to delete them and rescan? It seemed a lot easier to move them in 3.88. Well, you can do it either way. The images can be deleted and rescanned or moved to another catalog. After you drag an image or images to the other catalog, a warning pop-up is going to pop up and ask you to select yes to copy the images into the catalog or select no to move the images to the other catalog. You want to select no here because if you select yes, you're going to have duplicate images in catalog A and B. So probably the best way to do is select no, or else you're going to go back and do a bunch of deleting. Just as a reminder, if you have not received your 4.0 software, make sure that you have gone online and registered. You can go to inlab.com, and there's two places. You can click on the screen here where it says click here for your copy, or click here for your copy. Please go online, register, so that they know that you're waiting, and hopefully they'll get it out to you right away. In case you haven't heard, Inlab is turning 10, and we're having a party in Vegas. Come out and join us August 16th through the 18th at the Venetian in Las Vegas. Going to be a good time. Lots of speakers, lots of entertainment. Steve Martin and Martin Short have been hired for the entertainment. We're having a party at Tao. Inlab study group is having a get together. So come on out, join us. If you need information, please call your territory manager. They will be more than happy to help you get registered. You can call 855-237-3248 and they'll point you in the right direction. I'm going. Hope to see you guys there. I'd like to thank all of you for watching today. I hope this was informational, beneficial to you. Thank you to Sirona for the opportunity to present this webinar. Please go to inlab.com/events.html. This will be archived there. The previous versions, the previous webinars are there, and the future ones will be listed there. I know they have quite a few planned. I hope to see you in Vegas. Please contact your territory managers for more information. They'd be more than happy to get you signed up. Hope to see you there. Have a great day. Take care.